Hi everyone, welcome to BohoMystic. I'm Mary Nellie, and I felt called to do this reading. It was just nagging at me. It was just there for the collective. I think it's going to be for those trying to get a feel for the changes that are happening in their lives. Yeah, I started this video I think already 2 times, and I thought, well, maybe it's not ready. And then my light went out and I had to change the battery source, and I said, and all I heard was reset, change battery, you now have a full battery. And when I was meditating before and focusing on this reading and seeing really what was the download, what was I being told? And all I kept hearing, that I had to stop everything else I was doing, all I kept hearing was, and I wrote it down in my book, was, is it time to hang up the Hermit card? And I thought it was really appropriate. It's something that I had to do. Now I'm getting personal, and for me that's not something I normally do, but it's something I've done I've had to do for the past year or so, coming out of my hermit phase, and I've always known I've had to speak on it, or I've always known that I should help others, or at least talk to others, open that conversation up with others of doing the same. And I really feel like this is the beginning, right? This is the unfolding of that discussion. I also heard ever upward, Excelsior. I heard, I'm going to read everything that I wrote. Your throne awaits. Destination is a state of mind. And the vision was really nice. It was a child Buddha. At first it looks like a child Buddha statue in stone building outside. Very peaceful, hot summer day. And this child Buddha, all of a sudden, you realize he's not a statue, he's a child, or he's actually, in human 3D flesh. And he starts moving, and he unfolds his legs. He straightens them out. He then stretches out and takes his hands and touches his toes, because obviously he's been in that position for so long that he was almost statue-like. And he stretches, and then he stretches his arms above his head. And then he does something amazing. And I really had to just focus and see what he was doing. And all of a sudden, all I see is him taking off this blindfold. And I'm like, what Buddha has a blindfold on, right? And he takes off this blindfold and he puts it down and starts looking out. And he's still sitting on the ground, on the stone ground. And all I saw was, and I knew instinctively that he was looking with, at life here, the 3D. Like he came from the ether, he came down, he descended, and he was looking at life with fresh eyes. And he knew that he couldn't stay up there forever, that he also has a place here. And all the stretching was getting ready to join in society, move, become present again. And it was really nice. So that was my, that's what I've been having racking around in my brain. And that reset, I had to change the battery. It was saying, no, you're not going anywhere. There's another power source. There's another outlet. There's another, you're not depleted, or you've already recharged your battery. It's time for the reset. And I think collective, I think it's time for our reset. I think that many of us are probably, and I've seen it here on TarotTube, if that's what you want to call it. I've seen it speaking to people. You know, we are all, which is great, you know, taking that time for yourself and really becoming introspective and finding your true path. But I think it's very easy for that Hermit card to become reversed. It's not something where it's not a path that's forever, right? It's something you go back and forth, at least in my opinion, you go back and forth to it. It's meant to help you here. It's to help you on your path here, on your karmic path here, on the life that you chose to live here. And it's not meant to sequester you from what's happening here and what's happening in your life forever. And it becomes very coddling and comfortable, and it can become quicksand very easily if you're not aware that you are in that mode for the wrong reasons now. So, you know, it's always checking in on your healing, on your growth, on your reset, and is your battery almost charged again? You know, sometimes we leave our battery, our phones, and they're charged at 100%, and we leave them on, you know, the charger for 3 days at 100%. You don't need to do that with yourself, right? You're at 100%, 90%. You can start dipping your toes back into the world. 717, as I said that. So, yeah. It's an interesting one. So I pulled out some decks. And I'm going to pull a couple cards out just to see what comes up. I mean, I think it was more so, I pulled out some heavy hitters, or at least one heavy hitter that most people don't use actually for these videos, but I pulled out the Outgrow Yourself Oracle and Tarot. I think it's a good one. I think this is our higher self talking to us. I think this is our higher self calling us. I think they're saying, hey, you know, you're hatched, you're good, we can do this. Now, this is not for everyone. Everybody's in different parts of their journey, different, you know, stages in their journey. If this is not for you right now, then maybe the next collective or the next higher self or reading would be for you. But I do know this is for someone. I think it's more than just one. I think that there's a group of us and a group of the collective that, you know, needs that loving push out the door. And I have to give the reading and say what I'm being told. You know, I knew that was going to be part of this deal of me doing this channel. And I can do readings for next day and fun, you know, very pragmatically in what's really going on in our daily one-to-one life. But, you know, there are a lot of these messages that come, and I think they have to be given. That's why we're getting them. And it's not just for me. I think it's all of us. And if I can build that mystic in you, and I can help explore that mysticism in you and your own abilities, that's my goal. I mean, to be honest, that's really my goal. I think we are all speaking this language, or capable of speaking this language. We just need to learn how to do it and access it. So let's do that. And I took out the Higher Self Oracle, and I have the Wild Unknown Tarot and another, I can't remember the name, small oracle that's a great clarifier. All right, let's see. Regarding, is it time to hang up? It was such a weird thing. Is it time to hang up the Hermit card? Like we're hanging up a coat, right? It's spring now. Well, it's spring here. Oh my goodness. Maybe change of clothes. You know, when every season you have to change things up, or sometimes you have to put things away if you've worn it too many times and it's time to wear something else. I don't know. That's another tangent. But yeah, let's see what we have. Change. Are you ready to live the change that you have achieved within, and also the change that's outside that you probably made you go into hermit mode, right? Live with the thing, without the things that you wanted or had. You're going to live in a changed world as a changed person. And that is very, very hard. And I'm also speaking from my experiences, so I'm with you. And it is one of the most difficult things that you can do. But it is possible. It is. So, anything else? That's it. All right, now. And acceptance on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Let's see. I'm not going to do a lot of cards. I mean, I think this message has been, it was very clear. It was very adamant. And I'm just putting other because I think we all, I mean, someone needs to hear it. I needed to hear it when it was my turn to looking at videos and trying to find someone that could understand or just make sense of everything. So maybe I'll be that person for you. Anything else? Okay. Learn to flow, abundance. And that's the 3 of Cups. Yeah. Get out there. Get out there. We have our first card is Strength. Reach your full potential. Your throne, what did I say? Your throne awaits. That's what I was hearing. Your throne awaits. Become that sovereign that you are. That king or queen that you are. Get back on that dharmic path. Grow through life, the Fool. Thank you. These, I mean, this is amazing. Okay, the Hanged One. You know, it's funny because I was going to say, I think that we should also hang up the Hangman card too. There's only so much, right? You stay up there too long, you could be up there because you're bored. You could be up there because you think that you can become better and better and better in this quest for perfection, is how I view it. In my own decks, that's how I've written it. And I think that's a nuance that takes time to develop over the, for the cards. And it's that ego death, but it's also always that seeking. And I think that maybe and this is under the Change card. So I think as the Hermit card is being hung up, maybe these both can be hung up for a while, right? Maybe stop sacrificing, because I also think that we can become addicted to sacrificing or abstaining from everything, thinking that makes you, you become a martyr. And becoming a martyr, you do it for others, but sometimes you do it for yourself because it gives you a sense of purpose and a sense of pride. It's funny because you're shedding an ego, but feeding your ego at the same time, and you're not aware of that. So, and then you have reap what you sow, justice. And I agree with that. You know, you're balanced. Don't let yourself become imbalanced after, you know, be going into hermit mode and seeing things from different perspective with the hangman. Our goal is to balance ourselves, right? The duality, the balancing of feminine and masculine, and making that chariot move again, and the duality of the lovers and the devil card, and it's all of it. That's the fuel, right? It's finding that balance so that we can keep moving forward. And when you don't have that balance, or you need a moment in order to regain your composure, regain your balance, that's when you stop. You stop in that hermit mode. You stop and put yourself up in that tree, and, you know, say, I need something different. I need just a new perspective. I need to see how things, I'm done seeing things the way they are. I need to see it another way, or I can't move, right? I'm frozen where I am. But I think that you are. I think that you've done the work. I think that you filled your tank. You have found balance. May not be perfect. I mean, are we ever perfect? You know, perfection is imperfection, because that is who we are as humans. And everything doesn't, again, that goes back to what I was saying about the hangman. And I always have an issue with that. You know, you stay up there too long, or it becomes a quest for perfection that you're never going to achieve. You're not. And that's an imbalance. So I think you're healthy enough, you're strong enough, definitely, to move forward, to take that risk of opening that door, like that little Buddha, you know, unfurling himself from his pose that he's been, I don't know, centuries, months, years, I mean, coming to life and stretching out his legs. And he was such a beautiful, beautiful image. And here he was, just a little boy, unfurling himself and stretching his legs and his arms and touching his toes. And after being in that, imagine being frozen for so long. And that's what I think is happening to some of you. You guys are frozen, and we need to thaw you out and get yourselves out there, because you're ready. It's scary. There's no question. It is scary. You need to learn to flow again. It's like you're a rock, right? You're frozen like that stone Buddha. You're a rock that has been just sitting at the bottom of the river or the lake at the edge, not moving, letting life and the flow just go right by you. Become the water. Join the water. Let your emotions flow again, or give yourself the permission to potentially let yourself feel and love. Maybe get hurt again, maybe not. Find companionship again. Find a friend again. Let yourself hope that things will be better this time, or that you can survive out there without who you may not have in your life anymore, who you've grieved and continue to grieve and will always grieve for, and that you're stronger for it. I'm not going to say better for it. You're stronger. And yeah, because it bothered me when I heard that. But definitely stronger. You're more yourself, more who you truly are. And that, my friend, is why we're here. You're doing everything you're supposed to do being here. So my hermit card's hanging up in my closet upstairs. Maybe it's time for you to take that sweater that's so cozy that you live in and you don't take off. It's time. Shed it. Doesn't have to, you don't have to be at 100%, but, or even like go at 100 miles an hour, but just let's open the door. Let's say yes to the next invitation. Make plans. Yeah. There's so many ways to do it. Just dip your toe into that water. Let yourself become the water, because you are. We all are. We're all everything. So now it's your turn to become the water. So, and you can handle it. You can. That's why you've been doing what you've been doing. It's not going to be perfect. Again, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have good days, bad days. You're going to find yourself crying in a corner, right? Or in a grocery store, not, disappointed that you can't stop crying, over the produce. It's insane, but that's okay. It's your life, right? This is one. It's yours. You're living it. You can't go around only worrying about what other people think about you, how they're judging you, or you can't be so self-conscious that you're not going to live your life. So, all right, this is all I have, guys. I know it's deep, but I had to come on and share it. It's not mine to keep. So, all right. And if it doesn't resonate, there's going to be more, I'm sure. We're also going to get some dailies up here. And, my goal is to get videos that relate to your life, your 3D life, but also your spiritual life and everything in between. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. I wish you the best day, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the Daily Tarot. Bye.